Welcome back to SAFC Live. It's finished here at the Stadium of Light. 0-0 between Sunderland and Preston North End. And it was a bit of a stalemate this afternoon, wasn't it, Danny?
Yeah, you sensed it early on, I think, today. You know, we said before the game, can we get on the front foot? Can we be bright and busy like we have been in the majority of the games so far this season? But wasn't quite there today. Sometimes it happens. You know, we can look at it now and we'll say, oh, maybe affected by the lack of centre-forward, natural centre-forward up the top end of the pitch. But that hasn't affected us as much in the last couple of games, has it? But no, it wasn't there. Some people might say, you know, you're looking at it, you're disappointed, you're at home, big crowd in the stadium. You know, were they there for the taking? It's hard to say that, really. They had one or two chances themselves, albeit they looked stronger from set plays, didn't they? And you go back to the one that at least he's cleared off the line. That was their best opportunity throughout the 90 minutes, really. Yeah. And from our point of view, good areas, but end product was lacking today, wasn't it?
Let's have a look through the highlights then. Some of the action from today's game, and Danny, we can discuss it. It was a game of almost moments, wasn't it? And
yeah, well, I've given Elise man of the match again, like he did last week. You see him there getting forward and almost there, has an assist, doesn't he, for Alex Pritchard? And this is moments there. Jack Clark on the ball, does well, goes past his man, gets the block, comes out to Elise. Lovely touch into an awareness into the path of Alex. And you know, you fancy Alex there, wouldn't you, with his ability and his, well, certainly his technical ability to at least work the goalkeeper, but just slices it past the far post. We've seen a few of these moments with a couple of scrambles, and it's there, second phase from the corner. Drops for Whiteman there, he thinks it's in, doesn't he? You see his reaction, he's peeling away there, celebrating, hands on his head, and good awareness, good defensive awareness from Elise, young lad, but look at him here now. See, there's it's dropping back, getting back on the line, and does really well with his right foot as well. He's naturally left-footed and just hooks it clear from the line, and that's ultimately that's got us a point today.
Yeah. Definitely has. Sunderland didn't have spells in the first half themselves, and found a lot of joy on the left and right. Jack Clark there showing what he could do from the left, but Patrick Roberts pretty much did the same on the right as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Again, you can see you said there when Jack come off, looked a little bit disappointed, but it was for our front lads today, almost moments in the game where we were trying to get him into the game. See, Jack had one or two moments here again now getting on the ball. What you want to see him 1v1 driving at his man. You see that one there when he's crossed it over the bar. This one does really well, slows it up, good awareness, knows Elise he's coming on the outside of him, and he has to, you know, you see, I said it earlier where Elliott's there almost for a tap-in, but he's got to put pace on the ball, because you see once it's reversed into his path, he hasn't got a lot of space to work with. There's a very fine channel between Woodman and the defender, just fizzes it, and you know, it's one of them where does it come off Elliott or the defender? Neither, unfortunately, and just flies out there the far side there. But time and time again, that was the story of the game, where we did get into those areas almost around the corner of the 18-yard box, but just end product or awareness. You got Dan Neil in there, Pritchard maybe looking for a cutback, but it wasn't to be. This one there, he was quite recently throughout the 90 minutes. I think that one he actually shifts it inside Danny Bart, but then he loses his footing and he looked frustrated up the top end of the pitch for them. Patrick, this one, as we said there, coming in on his left foot, trying to fizz it into that far corner. You can see what he's looking for. You know, Preston at times again, look at the numbers, you can see why they've got 8 clean sheets, I think it is now. 9 men back in their own box. Yeah, so it's difficult to find those little threaded passes. There, Patrick, you know, a yard or so lower, and that's finding that top corner. And Elliott as well on this one, you can see there looking maybe to bend it round the left-hand side of the defender. Doesn't happen, comes back to him. Gets good power on the second one, but it's a good save from Woodman down to his right-hand side low. So yeah, it's a frustrating one. You know, disappointment, frustrating. There's a few words you can throw in there, and I'm sure that's what Tony Mowbray's feeling in there, and the boys themselves as well. Yeah,
I was just looking through some highlights now into the second half.
Yeah, this was that counter attack, wasn't it?
To get away there.
On the counter then, I give credit to Fernandez there. He does well. He doesn't buy the dummy from Elliott. You know, he can go both ways, and he goes onto his left, but say Fernandez doesn't buy it, and he gets the block in, and that one there.
Big save from Patterson there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, second phase. That was our main worry, and it is going to be moving forward until we maybe get a bit more height back with Ross or Ellis helping out defensively from set plays. See, that comes in there. We don't win the first one. Dan Neil, man over the top of him. Not sure if it takes a nick off Alessi just to get a little bit of loft on it. I'm not sure, or Chet Evans just scoops it more up. But it's a good hand from Pato to get it up and over his crossbar. And there's Patrick now, just skips past his man, Cunningham like he's not there. That one, and you're thinking it's a difficult one again. He's got to come through a lot of bodies, hasn't he?
It's looking for that far corner as well, yeah.
But instep there, looking to bend it, but he just doesn't get the just doesn't bring it back enough, does he, into that far side netting like we've seen down at Reading a couple of weeks ago. See a few of the lads there, hands are on the heads, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, has he got an opportunity? Maybe. I think it's Elisa that finds himself in the box there. If Patrick could pull it back, just roll it back into his path, but Patrick will feel now. Once he gets into that zone, he's driving it there. He's got that quick feet. You know, those pictures he's trying to see. Well, it's all happening fast in front of him, but he tries to find that far corner himself. And there's another one there.
They'll call that a goal line clearance, but
yeah,
it wasn't
no,
really.
It's not, you know, there's no power on it really. He's leaning back, isn't he? It's a comfortable one for Linden to clear. And then we've brought a lot of the young lads on again. Now we're thinking, can we affect the game again? And it's Patrick who's busy. That one then he opts for power, doesn't he? Trying to catch the keeper out, drills it through the defender's legs, but he's down well, Woodman there. And you know, you could argue it's straight at him. But yeah, so it is a frustrating one. If you know, over the balance of the 90, we have created the better openings, haven't we? But no, it wasn't to be. Yeah,
and a few of the newer lads as well getting a taste of the Weir side atmosphere. Jefferson Bennett almost getting on the end of that one, and Ahmad pokes one through.
Yeah, you go back to Watford, they came on, played their part, got us a point down at Vicarage Road on the road, and they've come up here today, and you know, they're having a taste of it in front of a good crowd in the Stadium of Light, trying to, you know, come onto the pitch there. And I'm sure Tony Roby said, go on and do what you've done last week, just confidence and try and get on the ball and make things happen. But unfortunately, I've said it 3 or 4 times in the last 2 minutes, it wasn't quite there today. Just happens sometimes, doesn't it? You know, you haven't got your natural strikers on the pitch for those little, you know, vital moments really. When you see there, we're getting 4 or 5 bodies into the box.
Yeah.
But maybe your natural strikers, your Ross and Ellis, they've got that little bit of nous about them, that when to pull off a centre half and just to create that little opening for themselves. But credit to the boys, you know, we didn't stop, we kept going to the end, ran out of steam a little bit, but it's another point on the board and we're back to clean sheets, I suppose.
Let's have a look at the scores around the EFL Championship then. Sky Bet Championship, that is. Final scores then. Blackburn Rovers 2, Millwall 1, Blackpool 0, Norwich 1, Bristol City 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Cardiff 1, Burnley 1, Coventry 1, Middlesbrough 0, Reading 3, Huddersfield 1, Rotherham 0, Wigan 2, Sheffield United 1, Birmingham 1, West Bromwich Albion 2, Swansea 3. It's a funny league. Let's have a look at what that does to the table, Danny, because you know, from what you've seen and what I've seen with you, I've seen nothing that the Sunderland should fear this season so far. We've played a lot of the teams in and around us, around the top 10. And then you see teams which you would expect to be doing well, like the Middlesbrough, really struggling this season.
You look at Wigan as well, a good win today. They've got a game in hand and they're going well themselves. You know, obviously coming up like ourselves. But yeah, Reading's the one that sticks out for me. I know it's difficult because we only seen them over the 90 minutes. But I couldn't believe how poor they were for a team who were obviously sat in the top 6 when we went down there and played them. And they barely laid a glove on us over that 90 minutes. We come out, you know, 3-0. Ellis went off injured, didn't he? And then we're like, we're worried now. We haven't got a natural striker on the pitch. But credit to the boys, we went down there and pulled off a good win. Queen's Park Rangers as well, sat up there. It is difficult, you know. We don't see these teams week in, week out. You know, a team can have an off day and we all think, oh, they're terrible or they're poor. How are they sitting so high up in the table? But you look how tight it is. You know, we've had a draw today, but we're still sat in a good position. So we'll roll on Tuesday night.
Yes, roll on Tuesday night. That's back here on the gantry against Blackpool. Another visit from a team from the Northwest. Okay then, what we're going to do next is have a look at your thoughts in hashtag Ask Danny. That's a part of the post-game programme where we bring your opinions onto the show. And we're going to have a look at the first one now. Andy Fennick has said, has Danny ever lost or found a tooth on the pitch? We saw that, didn't we, with Alan Brown? It appeared he'd lost his 2 front teeth. Yeah,
he took it well as well, didn't he? He went down and then he was back up on his feet. And
I think everyone else around him was like, mate, you've lost your teeth.
But no, he did, to be fair. But no, you know, answering the question, I've not lost a tooth. I've lost a lot of blood. I've had a couple of broken noses out on the pitch, a few stitches here and there. Certainly towards the end of my career as well, going down. Playing the lower leagues when you know, there's a lot more balls in the air and you're competing and you take an elbow or two
in the air as well.
Getting back home on a Saturday night and my wife saying what's happening there, you know, eyes over here and stuff. But no, thankfully I didn't lose any teeth in my career, so happy with that. But I'm sure Alan Brown now, he's fishing his tooth out of that glass of milk that's in the changing room, and he'll be off to the dentist to try and get it sorted.
Let's have another one, then we'll have a look at your man of the match, Danny. But this is one from Regan, who says, "Can we dare to dream and go up this season, Danny?"
Well, there's a long way to go, isn't there? But you've just mentioned it there, Frank. And you said we've seen 11 games. Yes, we're early into the season, almost a quarter of the way through. But there's nothing to fear. I'd say that much. You know, we've played a lot of the top teams. You know, Sheffield United, Norwich is coming down. Norwich are obviously going well, but they nicked it by the odd goal up here, didn't they? We should have took something from that game. Again, you know, you look at the last 3 games themselves. You know, you lost Ellis after half an hour or so at the Reading game, but we're playing. You know, going back to it, playing without a natural striker for me, but we're holding our own. Coming up against the Preston team today, difficult to break down. Not really threatening too much at the other end of the pitch. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, oh, we're up in them top 6 places. Obviously, yeah, down to 7th as it stands, but we're right in amongst it. But there's still a long way to go. We said it to Christian. We had a bit of banter with him, didn't we? Saying, you know, if we're in this position once to come back from the World Cup, and then you're going into January, will you look to strengthen and can we kick on? And he sort of had a little bit of a laugh, and he said, let's just settle it down a little bit and not get too far ahead of ourselves. And that's probably what, you know, a lot of the fans will be thinking. We're back in the Championship after, 4 years out of the Championship. Eventually got back into it at the start of the season. You know, I don't think I'm being negative, but if you'd have said to me anywhere between 10th and 17th, is that a good season? But you know, you're getting back to this level. You settle yourselves down. Young lads finding their feet at this level, and then you build again. But at this moment in time, we haven't scored today, but we've scored a lot of goals so far this season. Albeit we've got 8 from our front 2 who are missing. So sooner we get them back, obviously, the better. But yeah, there's nothing to fear. But let's just calm it down a little bit and let's just build. And we might have a dip throughout the season. You know, 46 games. Are we going to have a sticky period? More than likely. But it's how we react from that with a lot of young boys in there. It's the senior boys getting them together and pulling them through when we do have a sticky spell.
Let's have a look and discuss your man of the match, Danny. You picked out Adji Elise as your man of the match this afternoon. He probably had one of the moments of the game as well when he stopped that ball on the line. Let's have a look through some of his moments if we can, and just discuss how you felt he's been playing the last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, well, we said it before, you know, a young lad coming in. Got 1 or 2 run-outs, obviously, pre-season. I think he played at Sheffield Wednesday game, didn't he? But and then he's had to bide his time. He's, you know, Dennis Sirkin been playing excellent in that left-back or left of the back 3, whichever formation we've been going with. And then he stepped up. He come in against Reading, was excellent down there that night. I think we give Patrick, you know, Patrick scored the goals, and ultimately the goal scorers 9 times out of 10 will pick up man of the match. But you know, I'd give him man of the match last week down at Watford. He got his goal. He was solid defensively. And again today, I thought he started the game really well. He competes in the air. He's strong. He can get up and down the pitch. And then you see the block here, just that awareness as the ball's dropping down. He could be standing there just watching, you know, bit rabbit in the headlights, as I said earlier. But look at that there, 2 or 3 yards, and he's got us a point there. Pato's beat, and one of his defenders has bailed us out there. So credit to him there. But he drives forward now. You can see his confidence coming into his game. When it's opening up for him, he's stepping into spaces. He had an effort second half when it opened up. He didn't quite catch it as well as he would have liked, dragged it past the post, but he's getting forward. He looks like he's got a good tank on him, you know, young lad, and he'll grow in confidence, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when Dennis is fit.
Yeah, it's going to be real competition for that position.
I think, you know, obviously he plays well. I played as well, really, so maybe I'm having a look at his game as well, you know, keeping an eye on him a little bit more, perhaps.
I don't know. I think on the balance of this afternoon, I think he did stand out, especially for that save on the line.
Credit the lads at the back as well. You know, clean sheet. Pato made, you know, 1 save second half from Ched Evans, parries it over the bar. Danny Barth, I thought, was solid as well. Luco 9 at times. So yeah, when you've got a clean sheet, naturally you tend to look at the back lads if the other lads at the other end aren't quite firing and haven't produced any goals. But there's 1 or 2 out there. You know, I said it before, didn't I? Where you look at last week, we had a lot of 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 performances down at Vicarage Road, really, as the game wore on and the lads coming off the bench. Whereas today we maybe had some 6 out of 10s or 5, 6 out of 10 performances where things weren't quite coming off, where we couldn't get that flow into our game, and you know, where we've seen it in games this season where we've passed through teams with ease, you know, defence into midfield, midfield into attack. That's the one there I was on about with his shot, but he's striding forward, he's joining in the attacks. And I'm sure Tony Mowbray as well would be delighted with him coming into the team. Perhaps Tony does know a lot about him, but Dennis coming out of the team, he's like, well, who can we put in there now? Yeah. And he's stepped in and he's been excellent. I
wonder if we can have a look at the remaining hashtags Ask Danny's right now. Here we go. This one's from Liam, who says, why do you think Preston have so many 0-0 draws? Well, you've just seen exactly why.
Well, yeah, I think from their point of view, it's looking at it from two sides of it, really, isn't it? Solid at the back, 8 clean sheets in 9 games. I think 7 on the bounce to start with. I'm not sure where that stands in records.
I think that's solid at the back. You know, they've had a change at the back this afternoon compared to the last game as
but
well.
I think the last 3 is where they haven't had their clean sheets. So he's tinkered it a little bit. I think 4 changes I think he's made today. But yeah, they're a solid outfit. There were openings where we did get in. Not so much through the middle of them. We found it difficult to break them through the middle, but we got in down those channels a little bit, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Ryan Lowe's frustration will be at the top end of the pitch.
Yep.
You know, solid at the back, and then you build your foundation off that. And that's all well and good, but it's then putting the ball in the back and then to go out there and win the points. So that's 8 games now where they've been solid at the back. And, you know, yes, you want your defenders to chip in, but them lads at the back will be thinking as well. I've been there myself. I can't remember where I was at now, but there was a spell where we didn't score for 5 games. Mm-hmm. So you're doing your job, and you're thinking, well, we've got to do our job because the lads at the top end of the pitch don't look like they're going to score too many goals.
Yeah.
But you said it there. You got Troy Parrott last year, had a good season at MK Dons. Isn't firing at the minute. He brought Ched Evans in for him today, feeding on scraps a little bit. Yes, he had that one opportunity. What Pato's tipped over the bar. And the other lad, Reeser, up there alongside him, didn't have too much to go off either.
No.
So it's that creative side of it, and it's the hardest thing in football is obviously scoring goals and putting in the back of the net. So I'm sure from their point of view, and Ryan Lowe, when he gets back to the training ground, he'll be scratching his head, working in the final third of the pitch. How can we break teams down? How can we cause the opposition more problems other than set plays where the centre halves are coming up and competing for knockdowns and stuff? So, but no, yeah, from our point of view, it's good to chalk up another clean one.
I wonder if we can have a look at the final one then here on #AskDanny. This one's from Brandon. #AskDanny. How do you think we have performed today?
If I was giving it a mark, I'd probably go a 6.5 out of 10, to be honest. The word that keeps coming is fits and starts. Looked like we were going to kick on. Start of the second half, I thought we started quite bright, whereas last week, 2 weeks ago down at Watford, we had a slow start to the second half for 10 or 15 minutes, didn't we, where we didn't get going. And then we conceded down there, but thankfully nicked the point. But today, that second half, I think, right, here we go now. We look like we're up. We were sort of sitting there half, really. They didn't really offer too much going forward, but we just couldn't find that another gear. I said it at half-time, it was almost we were in 2nd or 3rd gear. And I'm sure Tony Mobley was like, can we get into 4th and 5th, kick it on? And then the game was there for us, really, but it never really happened. He made the substitutions. He brought 4 on today, didn't we, in that top half of the pitch. It worked down at Watford. We got the goal. The lads come off the bench, affected it, but it just didn't quite happen today in that final third. I think going forward, Patrick was probably the brightest spark, wasn't he? Jack at times coming in off the left-hand side, but Patrick there, 1 or 2 when he come in, the one he drilled through the defender's legs, the one where he bent to there, didn't quite come back for him into that far corner. So frustrating, and I'm sure the Sunderland fans are feeling that as well. Good crowd in today, 40,000 odd Sunderland fans, couple of thousand Preston in the top tier. Wasn't to be. So I'm frustrated. I'm sure you're frustrated, and that's the general feeling. I'm sure that's what Tony will say in his press conference after the game. But do you know what? We're back here again on Tuesday night, and we've got to go again and turn that. And if we do pick up the 3 points, 4 points, it's not a bad return, is it?
Frustrated, maybe, but not disappointed. I think there was plenty, to be happy about and optimistic about on today's performance. And of course, as Danny says, we will be back in action on Tuesday evening. We'll be back on the gantry, wrapped up for Sunderland versus Blackpool. It's a 7:45 kickoff for that one, which means we'll be on air from about 7:15 here on SAFC Live. And I've just been told in my ear we're going to be pitch side, so maybe we can grab some players before the game on Tuesday evening. So do join us for that. Get your matchday stream passes at sfc.com. Whatever you're doing this weekend, have a good one. See you soon.